So the old story of business is no longer useful. The good news is that a new story has been emerging for some time. There are multiple ways to set business in society so that we can make business better. What are the elements of this new story? Well, first of all, business has to be an integral part of society. We've got to see it like that, and we have to expect businesses to act that way. We've got to engage in a conversation, of which hopefully this is a part, to help see how businesses can help societies solve their problems. We've got to stop separating business from ethics. When business ethics becomes not an oxymoron, a contradiction, but a pleonasm, two words, you put them together, they're redundant like true fact, we'll fix the problem. We've got to have a more robust idea of what makes people tick, more than just money and self-interest. So let me try and articulate 5 principles that are important in this new story. The first principle is that business is primarily about purpose. Get the purpose right, money and profits follow. It's not purpose or profits, it's purpose and profits. The second principle is that any business creates and sometimes destroys value, yes, for shareholders, but also for customers, suppliers, employees, and communities and society. Building and leading a business involves getting these interests going in the same direction, not in different directions. The third principle is that capitalism works because we're complex creatures. We have many needs and wants. We can cooperate to create value for each other. In fact, anthropologists tell us this is what makes human beings unique, is our ability to use language and cooperate with each other. We act for selfish reasons, but sometimes we act for others as well. Incentives are important, but so are values. The fourth principle is that most people tell the truth and keep their promises and act responsibly most of the time. Honestly, the world simply wouldn't work very well if this weren't true. We need to expect that behavior in business, rather expecting that people are greedy and self-interested all the time. And the final principle is that business and capitalism are frankly the greatest system of social cooperation and value creation we've ever invented. I'm going to say that again because that's a little different than the way we normally think about it. Business is the greatest system of social cooperation we've ever invented. Competition is important in a free society. It gives people options. But the engine of business and capitalism is how we cooperate together to create value for each other. We can cooperate together to do things that no one of us can do alone. We need to tell this story. We need to expect it of our businesses and our business people, and we need to start businesses that are based on this new story. The good news is I believe we can see this new story emerging all over the world. For instance, think about Finland, a country I like to visit. Even in Finland, there are companies enacting this new story. A company called Outokumpu inaugurates an acid regeneration plant. They say the environmental aspects of our operations are important to our stakeholders. Nokia, a Finnish company, the most reputable company in the BRIC countries, Brazil, Russia, India, China. A company called Tuuliwadi invested $400 million or 400 million euro in wind power generation. And other Finnish companies are developing new, exciting technology that put their businesses firmly inside society. There's a new story emerging in China. Companies like Tencent, that's a social media company, Landwasher, an environmentally friendly, they make water-free flush toilets, Goldwind Science and Technology that does offshore wind farms, BGI, a company that does genetic sequencing, are just a few of the companies that are trying to implement, again, various parts of this new story of making money and making society better. BYD, a company that helped pioneer bringing electricity to public transportation. These buses that they make have been tested in China, Southeast Asia, and Europe, and Hertz Car Rentals at the LA airport will begin to use these buses. Greenbox is a Chinese company that is pioneering safety standards for children's clothing. Now, all of these companies don't always get everything right. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not suggesting these are saints and others are sinners. I'm suggesting they're partially trying to make money and make society better. And in that sense, they're leading the wave of this new way to think about business and society. And of course, in the U.S., companies like FedEx pushing energy efficiency, moving the entire industry to a faster pace to minimize their environmental impact. A company like REI, an outdoor products company, through volunteerism, their philanthropy, and their responsible business practices, connecting people to the outdoors, promoting the outdoors and natural places to live and play. Companies like Steinway and Sons, the piano company, building the world's largest parabolic solar installation to operate an environment that's the perfect humidity and temperature for making pianos. This is happening all over the world. These are just a few of the examples of the news story, and that's the good news. What I'd like you to talk about in the discussion forum is find some headlines from your own country about how these new principles of business are being implemented. What are some examples of companies that are more engaged in your society?